Welcome back to Wylde On Health. I'm homeopathic Dr. Bryce Wylde. We're back with Sam Gracie, developer of Greens Plus, and Bruce Cron, wellness expert. We're talking exercise and nutrition to get you on your path to good health. Bruce's website, eBody, that's EBODI.com, has a fat loss report that is free, no strings attached. It tells you the #1 most important exercise which you must do actually has nothing to do with working out. Tell us about that.
You know, I think it's the main thing people don't realize is that success starts in our minds. And that we all have to make the conscious decision to become the healthy, fit person that you want to become. You got to make this decision, and you got to write it down. And then there's about 6 different things, and they're all covered in there. But the last one is so important, and that is that you got to write it down, and then you've got to make the committed steps to take the action.
I hear that's your start now philosophy, isn't it? I've heard you lecture too many times.
Oh yeah, you've got to start, man.
Sam, you and Bruce have a workshop coming up. It's free.
It's a free public lecture Wednesday night, May the 27th, at the Living Arts Center, which is on Living Arts Boulevard in Mississauga, next to Square One, 20 minutes from downtown Toronto. It's free of charge. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. Once again, that's Wednesday, May 27th. Bruce will be talking about the exercise component. I'll be talking about the nutritional component. Should be a lot of fun with a lot of information. We're able to show all of our research on overheads at that presentation. So we ask the public to come out free of charge Wednesday night, May 27th, 7 to 9 p.m., Living Arts Center.
May 27th. I'm going to try to be there, guys, and support.
That would be an honor to introduce you and bring you up.
Well, I'll be in the audience in this case, but I'll, we'll
May I tell you, because I think the listening public has to know they're very fortunate to have you, because you're one of the very few people that not only talk about it, but live it and do it. So you're a living, perfect example of it. I'm just so proud of you.
I appreciate it. And it's quite honestly through teachers like you guys, so I appreciate it very much. We're going to go to the phone lines, as I promised. Let's just take a bunch of calls next 2 segments here. We've got Angela calling in from Toronto. Angela, welcome to Wylde On Health.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for waiting. Thank you. Thanks for waiting so long. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Okay, I've been on prescription medications for a period of about 10 years, and I'm looking to get into some of the supplements suggested on your show. Now, I'm just wondering, what would be the best way to do that in order to prevent any withdrawal symptoms?
Right,
So I'm just wondering, do you do the supplements simultaneously, or do you stop the prescription medication totally first, or how does that work?
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to just jump in this right away first. I'll quickly say, Angela, please don't change anything about what you're doing until speaking to your family doctor or physician. Don't start any program, that requires supplementation. There could very well be crossovers. Just because something's natural doesn't mean it doesn't have side effects. It certainly could contraindicate with respect to your condition or some things you're taking. So my advice, seek a naturopath or a homeopath that knows what they're doing and get them involved with your family doctor and make it a team effort as it relates to your health care. Is there something that you're looking to improve as it relates to energy, perhaps, or fitness? Are you maybe overweight, or is there something that Sam or Bruce could give you some great advice for this evening?
I am overweight.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, because of the medications that I've been on, I've put on weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big issue that we're all facing, right? Part of the aging process, also part of, we're so stressed out, it's easy to eat to satisfy ourselves. So one of the things I'd like to say is something that I worked many years on, and that is the only way we put weight on, hormones are in pairs, they come in pairs, and insulin is a hormone that's a storage hormone. And if we want to bring insulin down, when insulin is elevated, we crave, we want to eat. So to bring insulin levels down, the counter hormone to it is glucagon, which comes from eating more protein. So she should look at making sure she has at least 20 grams of protein 3 meals a day, if not 1 snack also with 10 grams of protein. So one quick trick is to start to eat a little more protein.
More protein. And Bruce, I'm sure Angela's heard this before, exercise more, eat cleaner, and so forth.
Yeah.
What advice can you give her to just sort of get started today? Understanding that probably some of the meds she's taking is causing in part this, but what can she do to just sort of get started today?
Well, start a structured resistance training program right away. Get on it.
There's no reason why, no matter what medication she's on, although she should be under the guise of a fitness trainer who knows what they're doing. She shouldn't have hypertension. There's a lot of people need a healthcare team around them. They need a fitness trainer. They need a naturopath, homeopath, and a family doctor. They need good advice. They need good books like The Path of Phenomenal Health and The Fat Fighter Diet. They need those as well. But create a team, Angela. That's my advice to you, and I think that's something we all agree upon. Get started today. Fabio's calling in from Vaughan. Fabio, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent, thank you. Go ahead with your question.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Okay. Yes, I started watching my weight. I've been eating more often during the day, and with my business it's hard. I work construction, and sometimes you get so into your work that 3-4 hours go by, sometimes 6 hours go by before you eat anything, and then what happens is I get home, I eat a lot.
Right.
I try breaking down, I try changing around, eating more often. But I find that sometimes I have a little bit, and I feel like it's not enough. That's one question.
Fabio,
go ahead.
No, Fabio's expending energy through the day and not necessarily replacing it as often as he can. Certainly, maybe even empty calories. Talk to him about that.
Well, wear and tear, he's wearing out his energy sources and not restoring them. It's like running your car all day long and not stopping for gasoline. Eventually, you're going to have to pay the price stuck at the side of the road.
Absolutely. So he's tried it. You know, he's really tried fitting these in. Maybe the wrong foods. What would your advice be?
Well, what he's got to do is carry something on you, especially on construction, like a good bar, for instance, a good quality bar that you can take a few bites out and carry a little water bottle, you know, just on the side of your belt right there. And so take little swigs of water, perhaps try an energy drink that's in that water, but a good natural one, not one full of sugar and caffeine, such as Greens Plus Extra Energy, or maybe have a little bar with you, a few little tricks, because you want to have little amounts of food going into your body that translate as little spurts of energy all day long. Energy has to come from food. You can't do it by running dry.
Absolutely. And you know, I know, Bruce, that you wholeheartedly endorse, you know, apples and almonds. You carry them around with you everywhere. It's your advice to be as a common snack. This guy, you know, he's obviously Fabio's getting exercise all day. Is it the right kind of exercise? Is the exercise that's going to keep him healthy, sort of that, you know, mundane, you know, on construction site type exercise, or
not necessarily? Like, just because you're in an active job doesn't mean that you're giving your body the total amount of stimulus that it requires. I think everybody should follow a structured resistance training program. I can't emphasize that enough. And then ensuring that he's getting the right amount of calories for his body composition. Because if a person has a body fat problem, you can actually be under eating, doing so much activity, not eating enough quality calories, and you'll never budge on the scale. You'll never lose fat. And then eat according to your body composition.
And then the next time you eat, you're storing.
And then you're in storing mode. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's about gaining that lean muscle percent and using, you know, the right amount of calories. I mean, do we have to be over-focused with calories? I mean, let me ask you that, Sam. Do we over-focus?
In a sense, yes, and in a sense, no. I mean, when we're looking at processed foods, calories become a critical point. When we're looking at fresh fruits and vegetables, in a sense, we can forget about calories. Just eat as many fresh vegetables, seeds, and nuts, raw, unsalted as we can.
Category 1 stuff, right? I mean, the greens and, you know.
The mistake he was doing that many people do is wait to get all the nutrition at one meal at the end of the day.
That's what he's doing.
Unfortunately, we overburden the body, and the body goes into a storage mode. So we automatically, even though we're hungry, we're storing body fat at the end of the meal.
Excellent. We're going to take a lot more of your calls, but it is time for a break. So when we return, it's easy to talk diet and exercise that we've been doing, but how can we get our brains into actually doing it? We'll talk about that, plus take more of your calls and questions and my personal recommendations. Once again, here's how you can reach us tonight, 416-872-2724, or from outside the GTA. It is a toll-free call at 1-888-863-CP24, or go ahead and email us. We like